Hello and welcome to Taming the Christmas Gimmies, Part 8, in which we're going to talk about some different media. We've been talking a lot about books. Now we're going to go along to something else, and specifically with music. And this is going to save you a lot of time, a lot of frustration. It's going to bless your kids, and it's going to bless you too. I know that's a big promise, but I know that I can keep that. I'm going to tell you about 3 different musical series, stories that are just wonderful. And the first one is Colby's Clubhouse. I'm just going to hold this up here for a second. Colby's Clubhouse. Colby is a talking computer, and this was before the days when there really were talking computers. Colby and his human friends have many adventures, and they grow in character and grow in the Lord. Now the second I don't have a picture of because I didn't use it, but it comes so highly recommended by so many, many people that I want to share with you, JT and the Halo Express. So, sorry no picture, but you can rewind me and get the name again. It's also not listed in the book because I found out about it since I wrote that. Now I have saved the best for last, and this is Salty, the Singing Songbook. He is a fictional character. It was created by Ernie and Debbie Rattino in the 80s. And Salty is a big, blue, singing songbook. And this is his wife, Saltina, and his 3 little booklets, melody, harmony, and rhythm. Now there are 10 CDs in the Kids Praise series, and this family is introduced in number 3. In each of these, they set up a problem, and the kids and Salty solve it by using scriptural principles. There are hours and hours of stories and lessons and that are dramatized in song. They're just wonderful. They've got wonderful lines like, God's on the throne, no need to worry, or with Jesus as my strength, I'll do my best, he'll do the rest. Or the other ones, I'm climbing my mountain, one step at a time. How many times have I, as a parent, needed, I'm climbing my mountain one step at a time? Now, why are those lines so important? Studies have been done of how humans learn, and apparently we remember about 10% of what we read, about 20% of what we hear, and about 30% of what we see. But 80% of what we sing. And so that can be really, really good for your parenting or really, really bad, depending upon what your kids are listening to. So protecting the content of that listen to, sing along stuff is really probably one of the most important ways that you protect their minds from the inroads of things that are going to hurt them from the world. When I was young, growing up in the 50s and early 60s, my parents didn't have those statistics to deal with. And even though we went to a Christian school, they allowed us afterwards to listen to my older sister's transistor radio. And you know what that was. That was all boy-girl relationship songs. And I was 9. And I ought to tell you, by 10, I was really boy crazy. And so what this did for our family was it made it difficult. That was a difficult time then for my parents. They had trouble with me in that area. So I'm just kind of warning you off of that. Now, with that background, my husband and I, when we became Christians and had children, we realized that content is a problem. Music kind of passes the brain and goes to the emotions. And so we wanted to make sure that our kids were protected. So we thought, okay, we're going to make our home lyric-free. Now, we told our kids that very early in life. We started them out with that, and we told them honestly why. Because there are things in there, if you learn them and sing them, it's going to hurt you. And we don't want anything to hurt you, right? So they understood. Now, did we get challenged later? Yeah, but there were never any real arguments about it because we just simply re-explained it. So techno, jazz, country, western, R&B, whatever, as long as it was lyric-free. And that no secular lyrics rule, we made that decision together. And we stuck to it together. If you are divided on this, it will really seriously cause division in your household because they're going to become teenagers and they're going to want that worldly music. Just as a testimony of how well this worked, our 16-year-old, when she went to work at the mall, that first day she came home and said, Mom, you were so right. I couldn't believe what those songs were singing about. And so we knew we'd done the right thing. And I'm just making that suggestion to you. So our kids were raised on Salty, and Colby. And then when they got to be teenagers, there were Christian bands. And just in the same, like that family reading time I told you about, these series are a gift to your parenting. They include themes like fear, making mistakes, learning to serve, selfishness or concern for others, trusting in God totally and completely, not being a Lone Ranger Christian, and resisting evil. I can't emphasize enough how important these were in our lives. And there are, in that Salty series, there are also 7 what they call sleepy time helpers. Now those are very short stories, very short songs that you can listen to together before they're going to sleep. What a great time for you to wind down together. How delightful is that? We also used them for waking up our kids in the morning. It really cut down a lot of the arguments because they were listening to the story instead of paying attention to who else had the toothpaste that they needed. So in the book, there is a page that actually lists all these things for you. It is labeled music, oddly enough, and the titles and the themes are listed here for you. Now, we talked about the togetherness factor when you're putting them to bed. Let's talk about that a little bit more. Our society separates us. We spend 6 to 8 hours at jobs and at school. Out of the 14 hours our kids are awake, they're gone a lot. I heard a sermon recently that said we do a lot also to separate our members of our family, like giving our children a TV in their room and they watch it in there instead of with us, or giving them an iPod, a personal computer, their own laptop, or a cell phone as young teenagers. Technology is wonderful. It's wonderful, and you can see how I use it. I'm really glad to have it. But it also can be an isolating factor, and in my opinion, and it is just my opinion, okay, our warmth, our affection, that eye-to-eye time that we spend with our kids, they need as much of that as we can possibly give them. So maybe just take a look and see if that wonderful technology is doing anything to isolate any of your kids. And if it is, maybe fix that. So, as long as we're talking about parenting stuff and I'm being really, in your business sort of thing, I like to say a word about discipline. But I want to say that in writing, and so that's going to be in a written format on the new website. So we're going to go on now to video number 9, in which I'm going to talk to you about some magazines, some websites, some free stuff, lots of free stuff. And I want to thank you for listening and for hanging in there with all this stuff. You're doing a good job. Thanks.